We're heading into a possible balance patch coming soon, and of course we have a new Pokemon coming very, very soon. So I wanted to talk about maybe our thoughts around this new Pokemon, and then hopefully some buffs and nerfs that we'd like to see coming up here soon. We have a supporter being released. It says in February, so I don't see a way that it doesn't come out next week, Wednesday evening my time. I'm on the West Coast, Best Coast, so Pokemon usually come out around 4 p.m. my time on the 23rd, but I can't imagine another release date for this Pokemon, right? It has to be next week.
Yeah, I mean, they land on like a 2 to 3 week release schedule, and if you look at a 3 week release schedule, then we tip into March, so it's got to be like 23rd, 24th, like it's got to be like within a week. That said, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like Clefable's a pretty safe bet. I've heard a lot about Togekiss. I've seen the artwork. I've seen people compare it to different Pokemon assets. And I don't know. I just think because Clefable was in the beta, because the character's modeled out and they had already done some kind of work, even though I know they kind of like, Frankensteined it into Wiggly or whatever. I don't know. I just think that's like the safest guess I could give.
Frankensteined it.
Yeah, I mean, they did. Like they
did. It's true.
That's a term. We'll
take your double slap. What do you think, Lush?
I think Clefable is the safest answer. I think it could be any fairy type Pokemon. I'm assuming it's a fairy type. It could be any one of them, but since the model's already made, I don't see why it wouldn't be Clefable. I feel like that's just like the easiest option for them. That's my take on it.
I think, someone brought up Florges as a possibility, and I can't remember if it was this Pokemon or another one, but they were saying that Trevenant and Aegislash are from the same gen as Florges, so they were wondering if it was all that gen, maybe. And I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting call, right?
Cool take,
I mean, fairy type Pokemon, it feels like it could definitely be a supporter. I don't know if it has the power that we all think it is, but that we think the Unite is. Oh yeah, it has Moonblast.
Yeah, that was also the generation fairy Pokemon were released, by the way.
Oh. Well, you know what? I think that's actually a decent call that people are guessing Florges. I've seen some people also mention Cresselia. There are a few options out there. I would always love it to be someone where you go, I didn't think that was going to happen. I think Clefable would be great, but at the same time, very expected. So it would be cool to throw something else, because I think people they geek out when it's not what we expect. You want a little Dragonite and then you want a little Zarina. I feel like they balance that pretty well in this game. Yeah. Although Togekiss would be just so popular.
Togekiss would be so cool. Togekiss would be so cool.
But that's really cool. We have a character coming
healer,
out
please.
Maybe in a week.
I just want it to be a healer.
Yeah, on new characters, they haven't released a character that doesn't evolve, right? As a newer character once the game came out.
Jeez. I guess you're right, huh?
Well, Serena. No, wait, Serena evolves.
No,
yeah.
It evolves.
They haven't released one, have they?
No, Mamo evolves. Everything evolves.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I wonder if they're gonna do that, or if they're like, look, Lucario's already broken, we're not gonna
let's not do that again.
We're not gonna make this mistake again. Speaking of Pokemon that are broken, or Pokemon that need some help, let's talk about buffs and nerfs that we could see coming in a patch soon. We don't know when balance patches will be released. Sometimes they're pretty massive, other times they just fix one of Blissy's moves, but oftentimes after a couple characters are released, after it's been like a month or so, we see a balance patch in this game. I'd like to, maybe we can just kind of go around the horn a little bit and talk about some buffs and nerfs we'd like to see. A quick one, I would just like to see Trevenant get some buffs kind of across the board. I would love to see that character become a little more viable, and I do think it needs a little help everywhere, basically.
Yeah,
definitely.
How about you, Crash?
The Chris Heroes tweet.
That's what I thought.
Always makes me laugh.
Exactly what I thought of.
It just, if it had better cooldowns, more damage, more health, more. I think Trevenant would be a great candidate. I mean, even something like let's make some passes at like Crustle and Decidueye. I know that they've done like Decidueye and Gengar buffs, but like these characters do still need a little bit of help, I think, and able to be at least a little bit more viable. The reality though is that it's weird. Like I feel like we could fast forward to like a month from now and we'll be like, oh man, like I don't know, like Absol's just still left in the dust. Like it's always going to be someone, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
It's always going to be someone, and but I think it's worth talking about. So yeah, I would love to see like lifesteal buffs on Decidueye. I think that could be like a cool way of just not adding a ton of damage to it to make it viable. I think Crustle, I don't know what you do with Crustle. I honestly have no idea what you do with Crustle. I don't know.
You just make it green.
You know, I was gonna
You
say
just
maybe
make it.
no. As crazy as that sounds, I was gonna say maybe you make Shell Smash like super fast, and maybe you make like Rock Tomb like have like half the cooldown it has, so you're just spamming walls all over the place and being obnoxious.
X-Jizza unstoppable. That is what I want to see.
Well, that'd be nice, so that way you can't get cute charmed. Like
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
nerf cute charm. Like,
On that, I think they should buff Wigglytuff. I think
Yeah,
Wiggly
it needs
definitely-
help.
I think Q-Charm shouldn't have a cooldown.
I like that. I like that. It needs to stop more things. I would love to see a little, like, if just thinking of some Pokemon I'd like to see some love for. I think Cram, has been left out in the cold for a long time.
Mhm.
I feel like we need to just get a little something to Cram. I would love to see them mess with its Unite move a little bit. It's pretty cool, but maybe even if you just, Crashy, you've talked about maybe it slowly crawls or something like that. I'm just thinking, what if you're just invulnerable? I know that's crazy, but what if just for a minute you can't even hurt this thing? Like, because
Well,
you
maybe
can KO it.
No, please
maybe
no.
well, like not even for like the full
Please.
duration, but like what if it like okay? So what is the duration of the Unite move if it's like I don't know, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or something?
That is terrifying. I'm
Yeah, it's terrifying, but the thing is not terrifying now. That's the problem. Like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
so terrifying.
Like
Because now when I see Cram Unite, you just think, all right, let's just go KO
you
it.
just dogpile
We'll just
it.
KO
Yeah.
it right now.
I think even if you like if it like I'm hypothetical because I can't remember if it's like a 4-second Unite move, like you could literally give the first 2 seconds like invulnerability, which sounds crazy, right? But like yeah, crazy because it would be good. Like it would, and so then
Yeah,
you
what
have
if it
to,
was actually good?
well, so then you would have to. Then the enemies are forced with taking. They make a choice, right? Do we take 2 seconds of getting shredded by this Unite move and then dogpile it, or do we run back and disengage? So it's like at least it would be that might not even make it viable. You know what I mean? Like that might not even be enough, but like it'd be something.
While we're throwing out crazy ideas, why don't we just make the whole giant circle a slow smoke slow?
Beautiful.
Hey, you say that, but maybe they leave the damage alone and every hit slows the enemies.
Yeah,
Like-
maybe.
I mean, there's got to be something you can do to make it feel like.
They've got to do something. Cram.
I feel
is-
like with Cram ults, it's a meme. Like you just like.
It is.
Look at him. He's
Cram
all-
is just like, I'm going to take all your farm early and then do nothing with it. That's just
Yeah.
kind of what Cram is right now. It's just... it
The thing
needs
I've
love.
noticed with Cram is the only time I actually find its Unite move to be useful is when we're already at an advantage. So it's like if there are 3 or 4 of us near an objective and 2 enemies are around, it's actually pretty good. But when it's an even fight, it's just like, why am I doing that? I would rather hit someone with Surf and like Hurricane than be in this like not so ideal Unite move. So that's someone I'd love to see a buff on. Is there anyone, Luch, that you'd love to see a big buff on?
One thing I'd actually really like to see, and I don't know if this is possible because of the way the mechanic works, is can Blizzard or Ninetales go through walls, please? Because I just feel like with that character, because you have no mobility, you try to position behind walls. You try to take advantage of that spacing, but you can't use your damage ability through walls. So it just feels very unintuitive, I suppose. I would love to see that change because I think that holds Ninetales back quite a lot. Something else I would like to see is, this might be a hot take as well. I think Snorlax needs a little love. I think Snorlax is a decent pick right now, but I think it needs a little love because we're in a crazy damage meta, right? And I think this is the first time in a while competitively that you really feel if your tank is not doing damage, and it feels like you almost can't pick it. And I would just love to see a little bit of love on Snorlax. Not too much, please. Don't bring Old Block back. But I would love to see a little bit of love somewhere.
Something you said about Ninetales, maybe this actually works with it. Maybe it's not that once it hits a wall, it creates that that area damage. Maybe it's when it hits any wall. So like you were saying, maybe it goes through walls, but it could hit multiple
That would be
points
really
in there,
cool.
and then each one can have a little, swirling blizzard effect
Yeah.
in that area. That would be pretty fun.
That would be really cool. That would actually
Yeah,
be
because like
really cool.
you could put like for example, like if you're playing behind the zap wall, you could like hit someone that's immediately in front of you into the zap wall, but then you could have thrown your ice wall into the zap pit and hit somebody else inside of that one with it, and it's all like one big pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it just feels like the character, like it just feels too restricted. I also think in general, like for me, like my perspective on SP characters is that like they're characters that do intermittent damage rather than like constantly DPSing. They're burst versus DPS. So a character like Cinderace, like you're constantly doing damage, and then you have like these little moments of like using an ability to reposition or to do like a little bit extra. But SP attackers like Pikachu, Ninetales, Cram, like they have very low DPS with high burst. I would love to see them just have like bigger uptimes on their abilities, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're just their base abilities, but like even some of their Unite moves. Like I think that like you could take like Ninetales and Cram's Unite moves and pull them down like a tiny bit, and that would help them a lot, because then it feels like it's more spammable. And for an ability focused character, I feel like it kind of feels like on point. Like, in competitive right now, you literally leave a Pikachu in bottom lane and try to dive that Pikachu. He's just going to Unite every single time. The Pikachu will just blow Unite and hold the goal. And I would love to see that same feel for like Ninetales and Cram. Like, okay, yeah, come push me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to have my Unite move because I'm an SP attacker. So something like that, just like giving them more uptime could be, I think, really cool.
Yeah, like the gap between like Cramorant and Venusaur is just so
It's
humongous.
crazy.
It is
One
so
is,
humongous.
yeah, one is unplayable competitively, and one is like, yes, please.
Yes. One is please no Venusaur, please. I'm so over
I
it.
wonder, speaking about Venusaur, we could talk about some Pokemon that we'd like to see some nerfs on. Venusaur is always a possibility. I mean, it feels like it's just been around and a monster for so long. It's one of those weird Pokemon that if they change it too much, we never see it again. But at the same time, it's really, really incredible. I'm not sure what you guys would like to see some nerfs on inside the game. I feel like a lot of Pokemon are in this really weird spot where you have Cinderace, who's absolutely unbelievable. However, if you nerf him, we will no longer see Cinderace. So what do you do with situations like that? Like, okay, we want Lucario changed, but then we don't see Lucario anymore, which maybe is fine. It's been like the thing forever. But like, what would you guys like to see nerf wise?